Hey guys, it is Hammer Universal Time day 66. Today I was in church, Protestant church in Hittfeld. It wasn't too long. I was in the St. Mauritius church in Hittfeld, where I lived, where I worked. And because it is the 66th day, I wanted to pray and yes, say something against Satan. And in order to say it, I use the power of language. The power of language consists of two things. One is the language itself, in speaking. The other is writing, the power of writing. And I haven't finished it, but I now want you to know that my first 5 pages of my biography are on the internet, and I will read it out to you. The title is God Exists. God Exists. Hi folks, my name is Vincent Hammer. I am 32 years old and I live in Klecken in northern Saxony. I was born on the 27th of February 1990 in Hamburg in Germany. The hospital my mother Martina Hammer gave birth to me was the Maria Hilf Hospital in Harburg. The birth was complicated and took about 10 hours. That is why my mother, Martina Hammer, is always a 10 on the scale 1 to 10. Martina was at that time 26 years old and was born on the 2nd of April 1964. She was extremely beautiful throughout her entire life. Her hobbies are reading books, friends and family, and her garden. Her parents, Hans and Helga, live in Spain. I come to that later. My father, Martin Hammer, is 60 years old and was born on the 23rd of March in 1962. On my day of birth, he was standing in the door while my mother was having her wedges. He first asked her whether she could wait for a shower and then calmly showered himself. After that, he was looking for something extraordinary for her birth, trying several pairs of clothes while my mother was screaming. In the birth room he was sent out because my mother lost a lot of blood, and he was close before collapsing. As I was born, he still worked for his father, Heiner Hammer, at Heiner's company, the GFR, in Hamburg. He worked there since his education as a banking salesman in the 80s. One of my first memories at that time was me and my father sitting on the left side of the car, and I was allowed to hold the wheel. That was fantastic. My grandparents lived in Maschen. Oh, and of course, Heine's wife was Lola Hammer, named Oma Mimi, after one of her cats. She loved and still loves cats. My mother's parents, Hans and Helga, are my favorite grandparents, because Heiner lost somehow his company, and because of that had a crash with my father under from me unknown conditions, and because they both went further south to Northern Westfalen to Maike and Katrin Hammer, my godmother. Maike is a physiotherapist and married Frank Hammer, whom she gave birth to 2 wonderful cousins I have, Lawrence and Moritz. Katrin is single and my godmother. She never gifted me a lot, but from her personality, I like her most. She is living in Dülmen in Nordrhein-Westfalen and always has a dog by her side. Now, Lawrence Hammer is in his 20s, apparently studying something in the Leuphana University in Lüneburg, where I once studied Betriebswirtschaftslehre, not the same as economics. Wow. His brother managed to become a policeman in the region. They have a small center for physiotherapy in Celle, again Northern Westfalen. Katrin owns a small medical care in Dülmen, too. Now that was everything from the side of my father, except one very lovely woman, my great-grandmother Trudel Hammer. We named her Tutti. She was living in Harburg for about 40 years, and of course her daughter, my aunt Heike Hammer. Tutti was a housewife and the daughter of a clergyman. She married a Künast and had 2 children, Heiner and Heike. While Heiner built up a good company, Heike had a lot of problems in the DDR, die Deutsche Demokratische Republik. She wanted to study Lehramt, but had to work in a small company first, because her father was a clergyman. They reunited after the war, which split Germany after the Second World War. They cried all at the central station of Hamburg. Now, believe it or not, Trudel was one of my favorite persons I have ever seen in my life. My father always said, go visit her before she dies, and I did a lot of times. I made a bag someday in Ketch, and she hanged it around her lamp.